Because remember, this has to be pointing downwards. The other thing, it could have a crack in this, as an example. But what I want to do first is make sure the machine is okay. Because what might have happened is when you clean this, maybe you didn't put it together properly. So let's test the machine first. I'm going to take this out of here. I'm going to stick my finger on here. See, now I feel the vacuum. Okay, I know this is fine. I know it's not the machine. I don't need to call it the company and say, well, my machine's broken, right? Because it's not that. Okay, so then we can slide this back in here. Then again, we still don't have vacuum at the tip, so what else can it be? What I'm going to do is take this tubing, I'm going to bend it in half. And then if I see this needle go up, then I know it's not here, and I know it's not to this point, right? So which means it's got to be somewhere here, right? So that could either be, again, this is upside down, it's got a crack in it, or the other thing would be, if you don't have any vacuum, but this is on high, the needle, then it means you've got a blockage somewhere, right? So as you know, this will only go high if you have this closed. So if this is like this, but this needle's all the way up here, but you don't feel any vacuum here, then there's a blockage in here. So again, you don't need to call us, we know what it is. You can either run some water through it, try and clean it out, grab another handpiece, whatever it is, but at least you know what the issue is. So it's very, very simple. Now, the other thing that is going to happen more often than that is you got everything set up, you feel the vacuum, but the fluid isn't flowing at all.
And that's what we run into most.
Okay, yeah, that is the biggest concern. Now, the reason for that is inside the cartridge here, that's inside here, is inside this portion here is a tiny little needle, and that regulates the flow. And we get these by the hundreds of thousands. So we don't know at this point, and this has been going on for years because we haven't figured it out yet. But there is that occasionally that will get blocked. It either comes to us blocked or it gets blocked because of the solution. So that happens. We know about it. Right now we're looking at changing the molecular, because now they have new molecular sizes of HA and all that kind of stuff than what they used to do. So now we're looking at, okay, maybe we're just going to change the molecular size, and maybe that'll help to prevent that, but that's got to be implemented yet. So if that does happen, and everything else is fine, then we know what it is. So we don't freak out. So we just get another one, and we open another one, and we put it in, and if that one runs fine, great. You do the treatment. Usually what happens after you've got, say, 3 or 4 of them, you call the office, and you say, I got 3 or 4 cartridges that don't flow. Here are the lot number. The lot number is laser etched in each one of these. Here's the lot number, and then we just send you a replacement. So in other words, at the treatment, what you're going to have, or after the treatment, say this box here was a bad cartridge. Okay, so I took one from here. Now this one still has a needle tip in it, but no cartridge, right? So you're going to keep this, and then we just replace the cartridge, and then when you get it, you just stick it in this box. Okay, so don't freak out. There's no need to, because we know about it. Just say, you know what, it's not flowing, I'm going to use another cartridge. Usually, a lot of times as well, they will start flowing. So what I'm going to be like is, just because it doesn't start immediately, it doesn't mean it's not going to start, because there's some air might be trapped in there and things like that. So usually what I want you to do is say, okay, I turn the machine on, okay, it's not flowing, I'm going to wait. So I'm going to wait 30 seconds. If that 30 seconds is still not flowing, then just get another cartridge, okay? So that's it. So that's all the troubleshooting there is. So basically, something isn't right, there's no vacuum here. Let's check the machine first, because I don't want to call somebody if it's not the machine. So again, just take this out, turn it on, turn the vacuum up, stick your finger in that hole. If you feel the vacuum, we know it's not this. All right? Then put that back in, then crimp this here. Now if this needle doesn't go up, there's no vacuum, then we know there's something here. Maybe I didn't put this back together properly, maybe I didn't slide it in here properly. The other thing is too, is here, and I'll just tell you this, you may never happen, is here's this bracket. So this bracket is to make sure these things two hold together. So it's tight. If for some reason somebody knocks this and they knock it down and it's loose, then that's where your issue is going to be, right? So because this bracket's been knocked down, all you need to do is just pull it up, bend it up.
Is it a possibility that the connection where the white tube is, can come apart from the egg-shaped?
Not usually, because this has been put on so far. It's like you won't get it off here.
It's
Okay.
pretty tight.
Okay, so that's not one of our troubleshooting points.
Again, what you're going to do, usually I just have it on this far, and usually it's fine. But again, what you're going to do, if you say, okay, it's not this, and then I kink here.
Then that would show that that's working fine.
If you kink this here and this needle goes all the way up, then you know everything's fine.
Okay.
You know, if you check this, the other way you can check this if you want to be sure is just do this. And then turn it on and feel here. I said, oh, okay, this is fine.
Okay.
You know, so basically, I'd say if you do this, then you do this, but when you do this, you're not going to feel the vacuum. You just have to watch this needle.
Sounds like more times than not, it's the solution within the pin that's not.
That is the most common.
That's the most common.
So people will say, well, I've got no vacuum. Well, do you mean you have no vacuum, or do you have no fluid flow? Because those are two totally different things, right? So just so you know, if you have no vacuum, then just do those steps. If you have no fluid flow but you have vacuum, hold it for 30 minutes, occlude it. If it still doesn't flow, just grab another one. And then, as I say, keep the cartridge. So then, you know, when you've got 3 or 4 of them, you can call up and just say, hey, I got 3 or 4, 2 bad hydrate, 1 bad whatever.
And
there's
Sarah,
lot
we have a
of things.
holding place in the office. That we can-
Yeah, if that ever happens, just write on the box. No, solution did not come out, and put it in the back, and Brian will see it.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, it's not something to panic about, and that's why I go through this with you, so you're not freaking out with somebody on the table, and you know, it's very, very simple. And just so you know those things, you don't have to sort of, oh my God, get the company out here, there's something wrong, you know. So any questions so far? Is it all good?
So this treatment is safe for pregnancy and cancer patients, yeah?
No, we're not seeing anyone
No.
pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and cancer, I would say no.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah, the thing is with pregnancy, it's not that treatments do anything bad, it's just that it's a legal
Yeah.
thing more than anything else. So if the baby comes out with 2 heads, they're gonna sue somebody, right? You know, so so they're gonna sue everybody they can. But
Hard
you know,
to track, but yeah.
yeah. So most people will not do pregnancy because of that.
Oh, yeah.
So not that the treatment does anything, but you just got to be careful. So okay, anything else?
Any questions, guys?
Anybody other than pregnant, cancer, that?
Just your typical contraindications, you know, herpes, sores, a very active, like acne breakout
Okay.
would be a no-go because you don't want to spread the bacteria all over someone with like very sensitized, reactive skin. Might
So same
be.
rules apply, like a hydrofacial?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, very much the same. So we're ready to do something. So.